Loss of interest or motivation, often described as apathy, is not merely a psychological or emotional reaction. It can be an early and serious indicator that the brain is under stress and beginning to falter. When someone gradually stops enjoying activities they once loved, withdraws from social interactions, or finds it increasingly difficult to initiate even simple tasks, it may reflect underlying changes in the brain's reward and executive systems. The prefrontal cortex, which governs planning, goal setting, and decision making, along with the limbic system, which regulates emotion and reward, are highly sensitive to both metabolic stress and neurotransmitter imbalances. When these systems begin to decline, the brain's natural motivation circuits, primarily dopaminergic pathways, start to weaken, leading to the frustrating sense of nothing feels worthwhile. Ignoring these early warning signs is dangerous because apathy often precedes more profound cognitive decline and may signal the onset of neurodegenerative processes. The biological mechanisms behind reduced motivation are complex. Chronic stress, inflammation, and poor nutrition disrupt the production and balance of neurotransmitters such as dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine. Dopamine, in particular, is critical for initiating action and experiencing pleasure from rewarding activities. When its signaling is impaired, whether due to oxidative stress, mitochondrial dysfunction, or inadequate nutrient supply, the brain struggles to generate the internal drive needed to engage with the environment. Over time, this creates a vicious cycle. Apathy reduces engagement in stimulating mental or physical activities, which in turn accelerates neuronal atrophy, reduces synaptic plasticity, and further diminishes cognitive and emotional function. Low motivation is not just an emotional problem, it reflects deeper systemic issues that have long-term consequences for brain health. Chronic neuroinflammation, often fueled by poor diet, sedentary lifestyle, or obesity, can impair communication between key brain regions and disrupt reward circuitry. Similarly, deficiencies in essential nutrients, such as omega-3 fatty acids, B vitamins, and amino acids, limit the synthesis of neurotransmitters, making the brain less capable of generating motivation or responding to rewarding stimuli. The hippocampus, prefrontal cortex, and striatum, all critical for decision-making and emotional regulation, are particularly vulnerable. Over months and years, persistent apathy can lead to decreased cognitive flexibility, slower learning, impaired memory, and reduced problem-solving capacity, gradually eroding both independence and quality of life. The negative impact of declining motivation extends beyond mental performance. Individuals experiencing apathy often withdraw socially, miss opportunities for meaningful interaction, and engage less in cognitively stimulating activities. This isolation deprives the brain of the challenges and feedback necessary to maintain neuroplasticity, accelerating cognitive decline. Physically, inactivity resulting from reduced motivation contributes to obesity, insulin resistance, cardiovascular stress, and chronic inflammation, all factors that further impair brain function. The interplay between physical health, emotional state, and cognitive performance creates a feedback loop. Each neglected aspect compounds the others, creating a scenario in which the brain and body are both gradually deteriorating. Early warning signs of loss of interest should not be dismissed as mere mood fluctuations or temporary burnout. Persistent apathy, manifested by avoiding hobbies, social gatherings, or tasks that previously brought pleasure, is often one of the first visible indicators that neurotransmitter systems and neural circuits are under strain. Left unchecked, this pattern can progress into more pronounced cognitive deficits, such as impaired memory, slowed executive function, and difficulty with problem solving, which may ultimately escalate into clinical depression or the early stages of neurodegenerative disorders. Preventive strategies must address both the biochemical and behavioral components of motivation. Nutrition plays a central role. Foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids, such as salmon, sardines, and flax seeds, support neuronal membrane integrity and enhance dopamine signaling. Eggs, leafy greens, and legumes provide B vitamins and amino acids necessary for neurotransmitter synthesis, ensuring that the brain has the building blocks to produce dopamine, serotonin, and norepinephrine. Polyphenol-rich foods, like berries and dark chocolate, combat oxidative stress, protecting reward and executive pathways from inflammation-related damage. Avoiding processed sugars and trans fats is equally crucial, as these accelerate oxidative stress and interfere with the brain's signaling pathways. Equally important is cognitive and social engagement. Participating in mentally challenging activities, learning a new skill, reading, solving puzzles, or engaging in strategy games activates multiple brain networks simultaneously, reinforcing neural connectivity and counteracting the effects of apathy. Regular social interaction provides natural rewards and feedback that stimulate dopaminergic pathways, boosting motivation and improving emotional regulation. Even small, consistent daily goals, such as a short walk, a conversation with a friend, or completing a minor task, can provide the brain with repeated reinforcement, preserving both drive and function. Physical activity is another powerful tool. Aerobic exercise increases cerebral blood flow, delivering oxygen and nutrients that support neurotransmitter production. Exercise also stimulates brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, which encourages growth and repair in neural networks associated with motivation and executive function. Strength training, yoga, or other mindful movement practices further reduce inflammation and cortisol levels, both of which can suppress motivation when chronically elevated. Sleep and stress management cannot be overlooked. Poor sleep disrupts dopamine signaling and prevents the brain from consolidating learning and reward-based experiences, while chronic stress elevates cortisol, which impairs hippocampal function and reduces neuroplasticity. Mindfulness, meditation, and structured relaxation techniques mitigate these effects, preserving the neural environment necessary for motivation to flourish. Ignoring early signs of loss of interest or withdrawal can have serious long-term consequences. The gradual erosion of motivation diminishes quality of life, reduces cognitive stimulation, and increases vulnerability to depression and neurodegenerative disorders. Each episode of apathy should be treated as an urgent signal from the brain, indicating that neuronal pathways responsible for reward, focus, and initiative are under threat. Addressing these issues early through nutrition, mental and physical engagement, social connection, and stress management offers the best chance to restore motivation, preserve cognitive health, and maintain emotional resilience. In other words, reclaiming enthusiasm and drive is not merely a psychological goal, it is a biological necessity to protect the brain from silent, progressive decline.